And we are live. Hi, everyone. Oh, I am so freaking excited to do this live today. It's an impromptu live here at A Beautiful Surprise. Whether you're watching me on my personal page or I actually have a YouTube channel now. I feel so official. But my YouTube channel or on A Beautiful Surprises Facebook page. I am Chantel. I'm the owner of A Beautiful Surprise. And I'm here with Katie Hansen today. And we're just going to kind of chit chat. Yeah, we're going to talk about Pilates. We're going to talk about, well, maybe I'll run this ticker here across the bottom of the screen where she literally just said in the middle of like everything we were talking about, she said, Pilates gives me everything I need to feel empowered. Like, period, mic drop. We can just, bye. Now it's all like, what else do you need? Yeah. Go conquer the world, right? That's how I feel at the end of a Pilates class as well. But I want to ask you to introduce yourself here in just a moment, Katie, and I want to kind of just share with everyone that might be joining us now, and anyone that's joining us now. I love knowing that you're here live. If you want to just leave a comment, send some shout out, some love, and even if you're on the replay as well. But I first wanted, I had this inkling to do a live with you, Katie, a couple months ago, right? When you sent me a text message. You were like, I got to cancel my Pilates membership, right? And now we're just talking about this just before we hopped on live. Within 72 hours, Katie and I didn't count, but it was roughly 5 other people messaged me the same thing. I have lost my job, and I'm going to put lost in air quotes because we don't actually lose anything. The universe just rearranges everything we were asking for and was like, oh, well, if you have this bigger dream, then let me get this shit show of a job out of the way for you. Right? I said candid, it's going to be candid. And so for me, I had this influx of quite a few people. I think that's the most I've ever had cancel, and it was within 72 hours. Now, in a whole other life that I also teach outside of Pilates, I teach universal laws. I teach the energies. I understood what was going on in the universe. And it wasn't unbeknownst to me that every single person also shared with me, well, there might've been one person that didn't, but it was all due to a job loss. It was a job. So it was this energy that was in the universe just a couple months ago that was very physical. There was a lot happening in our physical bodies. There was a lot happening physically in our real, like physical world, which means like our careers and where we drive ourselves to, the job site, so to speak, whether it's like you work from home on Zoom, you're still driving yourself to the home office or whatever it might be. And so for me as a business owner and understanding these universal laws, I really took a breath and I sat back and I understood also that the universe was rearranging for me who was meant to be in my space, who was meant to continue doing Pilates at A Beautiful Surprise, and who was meant to move somewhere else. And I understand that. And I had, no surprise to me, pun intended, for my surprise business name. I had just as many people sign up to start Pilates. It was just an emergence and a shuffling, and I had actually more people sign up. That's just the way that it works. But for so many people out there that don't really understand what I understand and what you understand, Katie, right? It can feel very hustle and fearful and like, what am I going to do now that all of this is happening to me, sort of thing, right? I'm losing income coming in, so now I have to cancel something for myself that I was doing for myself, such as Pilates. And so that's where I want to just kind of introduce you, Katie, here, and feel free to just share anything you'd like to share, and in response, and maybe just let us know a little bit about who you are as well. And feel free to go. I can hear you. Like you can hear you're trying to close out.
I know.
Close out your Facebook. You can just leave on StreamYard. Then you won't hear those chimes going on.
I was like, I need to get those off of here because it's going to drive us all nutty. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. So, a little bit about me. I'm a mother of 2 amazing daughters. I've been married for 20 years and constantly, just rearranging my life, as Chantel said, and constantly just taking new paths and, experiencing new things. I am a hairdresser by trade since I was 18 years old. And that's, what I've literally grown up doing is doing hair. And then for the past almost 20 years, I've worked in manufacturing in the hair world still. And then I've dabbled, here and there in a few other things, own a business with my husband. And then really always been into like holistic health, saw naturopath my whole life. So just really been involved a lot in, just experiencing the universe and what it has to offer. And, I have experienced and tried a lot of different avenues of health and wellness, whether it's, a standard gym. I did hot yoga. I did regular yoga. I did a studio I'm not going to name that has multiple different types of workouts. And nothing was resonating with me, and I wasn't feeling full, I guess I should say. I just didn't feel like I'd really found that it thing that really empowered me. And that's what I told Chantel is when I found Pilates, it just gave me everything to feel empowered. And it was so weird because I never thought having that physical activity and then also having that mental and spiritual element was going to really help me to feel whole. And it's really propelled me, not only in my personal life, but my work and career path life as well, which is where Chantel was going towards with the transition of work and, my innate initial decision to cancel my membership. So it's kind of a little bit about, my background, where I'm at. Do you want me to get into the membership thing?
I think so. I think just going down there a little bit further, right? Because I think so many of us, and I'm going to say us as in just a parent, not even man or woman or binary, whoever you are, a parent that is then also doing something else out there in the world, right? Where for you, it was doing the hairdressing, it was building the business that way. Then feels like this, all of a sudden, this sock to the gut of holy shit, right? This income just stopped. Let me stop everything else. But you understand what the universe also understands and what it's showing you. And so you did that very human trait, let's cancel everything, let's pull back. And then you got really unique in the way that you kind of worked your way around this and you came back full circle. But it really is, I put in the blurb here about the life. There's about 100 plus universal laws. Law of attraction is just one of them. And one of them is the law of abundance. And it really goes to state that whatever you are thinking about, whatever you are making a decision around. So for example, I'm going to cancel my Pilates membership, even though it has all of these benefits that you just stated, right? You energetically put a little kink in the hose of your vibration, and the universe then showed you some more of that back. Oh yeah, so this is who you are now. Let's go down that road a little bit more. Let's go ahead and cancel, and and that can feel like spiraling. That can be where sometimes I've heard, everything bad happens in threes. Well, only if you expect it to happen in threes. Only if you decide that that's the direction you're going to go. And so, yeah, if you want to speak a little bit more into well, hold on, right? Your text back to me. What the hell was I thinking? I have to choose me first. I always use the, I guess the analogy of the oxygen mask on us first, right? When we're in the plane, how are you? You can't pass out giving, whether it's literal oxygen on the plane or, to our children, our partners, our business, we're literally going to deplete at some point. So yeah, I would love for you to kind of just speak into that a little bit more and how you came full circle with your decision.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing, initially it was sheer panic, right? I was salary based. I'd been making the same salary working. I was at that company for 3 years, another company for 11. And, my salary had only increased during that amount of time. So initially it was a huge shock. It was, no notice, no nothing. I get a phone call at 5:30 p.m. on a Friday night that, we have to let you go. And it was holy shit, what am I going to do? I have a family, all these fears, right? Fears that are not realistic, just start going through your head. And so that was one of them was okay, what are our most expensive bills? What do I need to cut? And initially it was everything that I was doing, because that's just something. And as you said, whether it's man, woman, whatever, whoever you are, I had always been like, that's just my nature, as being the caretaker. And I think that's why I went into hairdressing. I really like to look after and care for other people. And so for me, it was, what am I going to take away so that my family doesn't suffer from this loss? Because it's not their fault that I lost my job, and I don't want anything to change for them. So the changes are going to be from me. And I started sitting there, and I had a friend that actually called me, and she was like, congratulations. And I said, what? And she's like, you hated that job. And I'm like, well, I didn't hate it. She's like, you weren't happy. You weren't you. And she's like, you would never have quit because you don't give up on things. And she said to me, what was your initial reaction when they told you didn't have a job? Was it the fear of money? And I said, no, it was actually a sense of relief. And it really was, truthfully, a sense of relief. And after that conversation, which was the same day, mind you, not, I never really gave it a thought about financially. I just knew everything was going to work out. And still right now, 30 days post leaving and being gone from that job, it's still not something I'm worried about. And I know that sounds crazy. And it's like, girlfriend, you should be worried. You don't have a salary coming in. But so many amazing things have opened up that I wasn't seeing, and I wasn't allowing myself to take in, because I was so focused on that. And that's where with Pilates, I thought to myself, like, this is the one thing I have in my life that I have done in the last 20 years, being a mother and being a wife, that has really profoundly changed me as a person. It's what I need mentally, it's what I need spiritually, and it's what I need physically. And those three things not only empower me to be a better person on my own, but I'm a better mother, I'm a better friend, I'm a better coworker, I'm a better Pilates team member, I'm a better wife. And I didn't want to lose that, because I'd been working in the last year and joining A Beautiful Surprise on really becoming the person I really wanted to be, and be that person for nobody else but myself. And I just, got immediately on and thought, I don't need to get Starbucks or Beans and Brews. I don't need to have a FabFitFun box come to my doorstep to make me feel good every 3 months. I don't need to have an Apple iTunes account and a Spotify. I think one music channel is enough, and really none is enough. And so I just started to really evaluate things in my life that I wasn't evaluating, because the money was just coming in. So it just was always there and could be paid. And once I started looking at things, I thought, why do we have these? Like, why do I have these things that really do nothing for me? They don't feed my soul. They don't help me spiritually, mentally, physically at all. And I have this amazing, beautiful thing in my life called Pilates that does all of those things for me. So why would I sacrifice that to have an iTunes account? So that's really where I went.
Yeah, I love it. If I can just tease you a little bit. Yeah. Can I? I know I can. You did again. You went very human, right? And you made it logical, right? Where you equated the expenses, and then it just didn't even make sense. Like, why am I paying out? And I think you shared with me, earlier today when you were in here for a Pilates class, that when you sat down and you looked at everything you were paying out, it actually equated more than our unlimited membership, right?
Yep.
And I hear all the time that it's expensive, and it just bounced, like in love. I just send it back out, because I probably should charge threefold for what you get out of it, right? It's $300 a month for the unlimited membership, and that's after you get started, right? And I say that with such both feet grounded on my very rug that's made out of all the earth fibers. It's just, yeah, absolutely. And so you did this very human thing where you made logic out of it. And so for you, your brain went, okay, like this just doesn't make any sense. Why am I paying for this stuff that I don't value when I so value the Pilates? And then the energetics of you and the true Katie came out, right? Where you understood that even if you wiped out all those numbers, even if you made Pilates, you add a zero, it was $3,000 a month, the feeling that you amplified by knowing what Pilates gives you, that $3,000 would have showed up on your doorstep 100%. Right. And so like, you know, that like that in like, yeah, absolutely. That was it. That was the feeling that you got in knowing that this is what you're doing for yourself. And so, I love that. What I wrote down as you started to talk was the paper that you got. Maybe it was like slid across the desk, or they just told you, but it was, quote, "We have to let you go." right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They had to let you go because you're meant to fly. You're meant for something so much more, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that friend that called you and got you to kind of see that a little bit more through her eyes or his eyes.
Yeah.
That, yeah, this is actually, and so this is what I meant by the loss of the job. And when we get really real with ourselves, we don't actually lose anything. We're being open to the next thing that we've actually been asking for. Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can feel a little itchy and scratchy and a little bit of like, the punch to the gut, but dang, we've asked for it. Right. It's just like I've never skydived, but I kind of imagine it's like right before you step out, like, okay, but I know on the other side of this is freedom. On the other side of this is what I've been asking for. On the other side of this is what I'm going to feel in my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit, my ego, right? Just like what you're saying. So yeah. So maybe speak into that just a little bit more, maybe speak into the culture here at A Beautiful Surprise, because I know, like you said, you've tried other places, but it's not just my intention. It is like I have right now the India Ari. This is the Soulbird manifesto behind me, but I also have my own manifesto inside of me where I just am creating a culture here, which is all encompassing. You are welcome. We are kind, we are loving, we are encouraging. When one person in class can do something so advanced that the person right next to you can't yet, right? That person is like cheering us on, and we're each other's biggest supporters, and there's never any competition. There's never anything that feels like, well, I don't have that expensive of leggings, or I don't value, whatever it might be. And we were talking about leggings before, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it might be, but I get to show up just as myself. And I leave here not only feeling physically better, but mentally and emotionally as well. And
Yeah.
so maybe just speak into that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's one thing. I've posted some videos on my own here and there. And, that was the other thing that I took as a plus is I thought, oh my gosh, like I have been imprisoned, and I don't want to say it like that, but with my job, I was imprisoned to their time. And that came first and my practice came second. And now my practice comes first. I'm able to book my life around my practice of Pilates, and I've been able to go almost every single day, give or take if kids have things, but legitimately that's what I put as a priority now. And I don't feel any guilt or any selfishness because I just don't. Like, it's not a feeling that overwhelms me anymore. It's a feeling that it's like, this is part of who I am, and this is part of what makes me who I am. And that's why it gets priority. So for me, it was like, cool. Now I actually get to take full advantage of my Pilates membership and being a part of A Beautiful Surprise. And to your point with the, community, and I think that's something for me that is really important in every aspect of everything I do in my life, is feeling that sense of community, because I think that's what we're here for. We're here to be there for each other, and we're here to network, and we're here to help other people. When someone's feeling down, you help uplift them. You don't just walk on top of them. And one thing at A Beautiful Surprise that I felt from the day that I walked in is it was welcoming. It was warm. It felt good. And you weren't, and to your point, feeling like I've never even thought about what I wear. I don't even care. Like, I go with no makeup, sometimes mascara smeared under my eyes at 6 a.m. in the morning to Jordan's classes. And and what the coolest part about it is I tell my husband this all the time, there's age ranges from when my daughter was going to 16 all the way to, I don't know, Chantel, probably 80. And, it's so cool because the energy that's in the room sometime is so variant because of people's life experiences that it's so amazing. You can feel it because you can feel that everybody's coming into this collaborative place of that sense of community to just get what they individually need. And there is zero competition. And a couple weeks ago, I've been working on my high bridge, and I was able to achieve a high bridge, and I ended up filming it at the end of the video, which was the best part. One of the fellow Pilates members literally leaned over and gave me a fist bump, like, girl, you got it. And it was just, I haven't been a part of anything like that in a very long time, where someone you don't really intimately know can uplift you and support you. And it's 100% genuine. And I think for me, that's what I've felt from day one, to feel everybody like, oh my gosh, you got this. And we do that. And, if somebody's new and they're like, you can tell they feel a little bit intimidated, everybody's energy in the room kind of collaboratively helps build them up without even consciously doing it. It's just because that's the type of atmosphere that you've created. And, all of the teachers that are there, it's just that same energy. And I love it. I know no matter whose class I'm going to walk into, that it's going to be empowering.
Yeah, I'm going to change this right now because you said Pilates at a beautiful surprise, because we were talking about this before we hopped on our live also, right? Thank you for all of that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to change that right now because we're talking about it a little bit where, and I used to say, if you've done Pilates somewhere else and it wasn't absolutely life-changing, then maybe give us a try, maybe try somewhere else. But it just doesn't feel as good as to say, no, actually go ahead and try a beautiful surprise. Go ahead and try my company. Go ahead and try what I've created. And that's the little subtle. I did a post yesterday where I just like completely outed myself, where I have been so subtly filtering myself, even in my most intimate relationships. And that has had a profound effect, kind of spiraling out in the way that I show up in my business. And that's just one example also where, no, actually, I know that what I have here, I have a very specific proprietary method that is life changing. And so whether you are someone with all sorts of contraindications, whatever it might be, or you're an elite athlete, absolutely, you are welcome. And I can take you, and my team can take you. They're very well versed and well trained in this. From walking into understanding, you don't need to know anything. You just need to know that you're curious, you're open, you're kind, and you want something more for your life. You want something more for yourself and your body. And we got you. Yeah. So thank you for saying all of that.
Yeah. Well, and one more thing, it's like, not to say that traditional ways of working out, like at a gym and on machines and weights, but I think Pilates gave me a sense of growth, if that makes sense as well. I came into your studio, never, ever have done Pilates in my life, never been on a reformer. I didn't know that much about it, but I just knew I needed to come to your studio. I found it online and I thought, I need to call her. I need to get in. I just need to go in and try it. And from where I started to where I am now, like, I am really proud of myself. And again, it's not even just the physical abilities, but it's the mental abilities. It's my spirituality that's also grown and expanded. And, hearing things that you say to the other instructors, I've just grown so much in the last year, exponentially more than I've ever grown doing anything else. And I, thank you for that, and all of your teachers. But it's something where people say, oh, it's just a workout. It's like, no, it's not. It's actually life-changing, and it's a way of living. And I think that is truthfully the way that I look at it.
I love that. I love how the sunlight came in, just like as you're saying that, also like shined on you, right on your mouth. Like, listen to her, people. Yeah, 100. Like you just summarized it 100% for me. It's like one of those legalities that when I say I teach Pilates, and I'm also certified in many other modalities, that I know how to physically help you. I know how to physically teach you. But it's like the byproduct of doing that. And of course, I have my other certifications where I can lean into that a little bit more and from a legal side, and say that I also, move energy, and I can help you emotionally, mentally as well. But there's something to that where even just being in this space, you feel better. Right? And I know that you talk about that a lot also, where if you haven't been in, it's the emotional side that you feel more than anything. And one of my favorite things is to watch people that start Pilates, and they'll come in and they'll say, my partner says, you're going to spend how much and you're going to take how much time, right? And then it's a 180 with pretty quick. When do you have Pilates class? Right?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Because they see a difference. They so see a difference. They can feel a difference in you, and it just permeates out from you into your community. So yeah, that's one thing I did notice also, is you've definitely, since, like, hold on, you didn't actually cancel. You told me you were going to. But then you like really quick, hold on, wait a minute, right? I moved some shit around, and I was like, what am I doing? Hold on.
Yep.
And you were back before you actually canceled. And so, yeah, it just like, I think that's one of my most fun things to watch happen. Also, I'll say really quickly, what happens quite often also for people that are thinking, I don't want the community, I don't need the community, I've got that already, I've got a great social life. And I'm thinking of one person in particular that started within the past 3 months. And this was what she told me. I'm good. I just want private sessions. I don't like, I need to have my time. I'm in and I'm out. Well, she's since then moved into some group classes, right, that work well with her schedule. And she's the one, I have to say, that's coming and staying the longest after class. She's the most vocal, right? Like talking with everyone as we're like cleaning up the equipment and getting ready to leave, and kind of standing outside the doors and talking the longest. And I just, I'm like, oh, she didn't know what she didn't know. Of course, she has her social circles and the people around her that are closest to her. But what we're creating really is, it's unique, it's different. And so, yeah, I just love kind of watching that happen. And, I giggle to myself a little bit where I'm like, oh, she didn't know like the difference. And so, yeah, so thanks for speaking into that.
Yeah.
I think we covered it. Yeah. Right. What would you say? Like, maybe we can finish here with, what could you say to someone that's maybe sitting back like, yeah, I think I'm ready. I want to do it. Especially we're speaking universally. We're in a 9 energy day today. Today's the day you make new changes. You take the leaps. You go for it. And this is in a very physical kind of world. Also, the energy of today. And so, someone that's maybe just feeling this, not conscious of it, what would you maybe say to them if they're like, kind of like we were saying before? Yeah, but the yeah buts. But maybe I'll start on Monday. Maybe I'll start at the first of the year. Maybe I don't know. What would you maybe say?
Just do it. I mean, that's my thing, is we've always got excuses. And I, was meditating last night, and, the biggest thing with meditation is letting things come in and not giving them attention, recognizing it's a sound or it's a feeling, and then moving on from it. You literally need to do that in every aspect of your life, not just when you're meditating. So when you have these thoughts come in that are fear-based, or they're thoughts that really aren't going to help improve your life, let them go and just take the leap. And that's the thing is, I was really nervous starting Pilates because, again, I had not had great experiences in the workout world. And I felt like, because I wasn't wearing, and I'm not saying this is bad if you wear it at all, so please don't, Lululemon or, designer yoga clothes, which just isn't me. And, it's not something that, is within how we spend our money, and that's fine. But for me, it was always very intimidating if I didn't fit into that. And, I think with coming to a beautiful surprise, it's just, I've never felt that way. So if you have all of these things going on in your mind, am I going to fit in? I've never been on a reformer. I don't know what Pilates is. You don't need to. You literally just need to show up. And that's almost with everything in life, is you just need to show up and it will happen for you. That's all you have to do. That's the hardest part, is showing up, and it's the easiest part. So just show up and you will be so happy, and you'll be so grateful that you did.
So true, right? There's always going to be something.
Yeah.
You are always expecting something. If you are always waiting for something to end in order to start something that you are really wanting to do, i.e. Pilates, there will always be something for you to finish before you can start. So it literally is just taking that leap, just going for it, and getting really quiet, like you said, and asking yourself, like, what is it that I am really desiring here? What's below that, right? Because Pilates is kind of at the surface level, but what do I desire? I desire to move in a body that feels like, I'm head bobbing as I walk. I desire to have energy at the end of the day and not feel like I can't move or I'm super stiff, right? Yesterday was my 10-year-old. She turned 10 years old, and I'm 42 now, and I jumped for 2 solid hours at a trampoline park, full out, right? Like full out. I know I shared with the class today, right? Yeah. I battled I have a 22-year-old. I battled him on the balance beam and I kicked his ass.
Right.
And he, even as he was going down, how'd you get so strong? As he's falling in the foam pit. And like, I do Pilates. Right. And he's starting to do some Pilates with me also. But yeah, it's a walking joke, but not really a joke.
Well, it's true. And even my husband's like, I think you have superpowers now. I'm like, I do. I do. And that's where I feel like I always joke, my 16-year-old body back, and not necessarily physically like by the eye, but how I feel. Like I feel better than I've felt in a very, very long time. And that at the root was the most important thing to me, because I want to be here a very, very long time with my family. And I want to be able to move. I don't want to be housebound or bedbound. I want to experience all this world has to offer for as long as I can, and do it pain-free and do it enjoyably.
Yeah, I love that. Joseph Pilates said Pilates is for everyone, right?
Yep.
It's the study of the body, the breath, and the mind all coming together. And absolutely, if you have a body, you can do Pilates.
Yep.
And that's how I teach it. So,
Cool.
alrighty, my friend, you are amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing your story. I know it landed for so many other people out there. So, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close it off. Yeah, unless there's anything else.
Nope. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I so appreciate you. All right, everyone. Katie, go ahead and stay on here. Okay, and I'll go ahead and close this off. Thanks, everyone. Oh, you know what? What I'll do here also is I will add a link at the bottom of this this live, and it's the link to apply to start Pilates. So I'll go ahead and do that. If you're like, yeah, but you're leaving me hanging, right? Well, you can Google a beautiful surprise, but you'll just get my website, and that's not nearly as interesting. So I'll drop the link, and then you can click on that. Do it, right? Do it. Quick decisions. Yep. I love quick responses, quick action takers, right? All right. All righty, everyone. Till next time.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.